Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday Night Music Show. Sadly, my co-host, Brian, won't be here this week. Oh. But I do have my producer, Howie. And if those of you who've been watching for a while haven't caught on yet, the key to this drinking game is this expression. And I've got John Colley from Boston, my road dog. That's when you take a sip.
Good dog.
So this is the Tuesday Night Music Show, and it wouldn't be possible without sponsors like DJ Event Planner. We've got them all listed down in the description, but of course, DJEventPlanner.com online. Check out everything they offer. A lot of us in this room use them, along with a lot of other great sponsors that we have. And again, in the description, you can click on all the links and get right to them. It wouldn't be a music show without some music talk, so we have to go to my road dog.
Oh, boy. Gonna need a new liver for this one?
I'm in control tonight. That's what I said to my road dog earlier.
Oh, road dog.
Okay, I missed that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to have DJ John C's Record Roundup, which we do every Tuesday night. And this is where we each come up with a record that we think you should have, or at least check out and listen to, whether you're a DJ or just an avid music fan. So since it's his deal, we'll go right to Boston, the hub of the universe.
Absolutely.
DJ John C. and the Record Roundup.
All things
John,
great. 617 strong. Hello, guests, esteemed colleagues. You'll each get a chance to say hi as we make our way around the room. I'll keep it short. I was sorting the records out chronologically, and I stumbled across this something that triggered me back into 1980, where I bought this all black record from this Australian band, and then suddenly the deceased put out a new record, and I was a little confused for a minute. And that record that followed, Back in Black in 1980, was Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. It was kind of the forgotten AC/DC record. It did exist in Australia, but under a slightly different connotation. And it was a lot of the first couple of records, they were all kind of in there, but scrambled. But there were a few tracks that slipped through that didn't make it to the American press. So they're outside of a strip mall or a laundromat, and everybody's got the little black squares over their eyes. And we had songs like Dirty Deeds on there and Problem Child. What else was on that? Ain't No Fun Waiting Around to Be a Millionaire. And I just thought it was weird that Atlantic Records would decide, because we all knew that Bon Scott had passed, and we're already, a month deep into the new AC/DC record, yet Atlantic thought it would be important for the American fans to have a shot to listen to some of the stuff from the earlier Australian pressings. So it's Bon Scott on lead vocals, and they didn't do that once, but twice, because then about 10 years later, 74 Jailbreak came out and gave us some other material that we had never heard from Bon Scott. So when you're trying to put your AC/DC records in order chronologically, 74, and then I guess we would say Dirty Deeds would actually be 76, 77, it's right in there between Let There Be Rock and Highway to Hell. But that's, we've talked about AC a bunch of times and the, the Bon Scott years forward, but up until 79, they were growing, developing. Highway to Hell, of course, being one of their best records, but we've used that on the Roundup as well as Back in Black. So my pick for the week is Dirty Deeds. Go give it a listen. It's a fun song about your local hitman. It's really catchy. And
it's a great one. I've never told this before. I'll make it very quick, but I got a hit on Facebook one day to go to Amazon because the AC/DC Complete Collection was on sale. So I went to Amazon and they had the AC/DC Complete Collection for $14.99. So I just clicked, wow, this is great.
Yeah.
I got 256 songs. And when I told someone else half an hour later, they said, it's not on Amazon. The link you sent is down. And the link came back up an hour later for $259. It had been a price issue. So I have every album studio and a ton of live, and then outtakes and B-sides that never released. Yeah, so there was an interesting time the way Atlantic did that, and I agree. It was odd that they kind of chose that. I think they took the momentum of Back in Black and said, oh, let's see if we can get some sales out of some other product that we're not paying the same royalty aspects on.
Yeah, Back in Black was kind of a slow rolling boil. It didn't just take off like gangbusters right away. It took it was about a year's time. Then You Shook Me All Night Long became the wedding staple that it is, and hasn't gone away since. It's one of the.
I think the first single was Back in Black. Anyway,
I heard that, and I heard Hell's Bells on the radio. Shoot to Thrill.
Yeah, Hell's Bells. I heard a lot in Boston, and like you say, it was a while before we got there. Howie, what do you have for the listening pleasure this week?
This week I have Jefferson Airplane. This is the forerunner to a group we always talk about, Jefferson Starship. Nice. With Miracles and all those sappy, slow songs. But I like this for Somebody to Love and White Rabbit. Mm-hmm. And that is the forerunner of Starship, Jefferson Starship ad nauseum. So that is my pick for just pure pleasure. But I did have one time they did asked me to play when they were walking into the wedding. They wanted to walk into Somebody to Love.
Okay.
That's a great choice. I never would have thought of that.
Yeah.
That's actually a perfect walk-in song.
It is.
It worked. People, well, it was, like most weddings, the relatives were a little older and they got up and they were clapping. So I guess I did something right that day.
That's awesome. Now, I failed to introduce everyone because I wanted to do the introductions as we got into the music roundup. So now, if we're doing it on my screen, to my direct right, we're going to go to Chicago. And luckily, not shot today. We've got Buddy from TMV Productions, and we're going to see what he's bringing to the table for some music.
What an
Spoke too soon.
The screen goes black.
Sounds like The Sopranos.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Don't Stop Believing. Let's do that one right there. As someone who is in Chicago and who is a huge freestyle fan and he loves freestyle music and stuff like that, there's a lot of stuff that didn't go outside Chicago, didn't go outside of this area for music wise, and I would say anyone to try to explore some of the Chicago albums and Chicago record companies that are local to us. And maybe that reaching out and asking questions, but there's a few songs that I could think of off the top of my head that are very, very, were very niche and local, but also hip house as well. There's a lot of bands there too and groups. One of them is White Knight. White Knight, you guys probably had never heard of that but the thing is that he had a big draw here in Chicago. Powerful Juvenile, another one for house. And it's stuff like that I would love to see more of those groups and rappers and producers and so forth, so on, go outside Chicago. People have heard of Fast Eddie and stuff like that for Chicago house. People have heard other groups in freestyle. But the thing is that I'd love to see that be explored more by people outside Chicago, because there's so much here. Chicago's known for blues music, is known for a lot of things, but a lot of people forget that house music, Chicago has its own house rhythm and its own house feel. And those artists right there from the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s, there's a lot of hidden treasures there. And I think people, if they go on to sites and search Chicago hip house, and look at those artists, they'll be very pleasantly surprised.
Awesome. Some new music for DJ's Arsenal. That's awesome, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Next to Buddy, we have direct from the Seabrook Racetrack Smoking Lounge, Mr. DJ Eric.
Oh my God.
What do you got for us?
Well, let me take my inhaler first.
Don't try this at home, kids. That just keeps the pincher bugs away.
No. If you put that on a car jack and you hit the jack to bring it up, you know what you're doing. So go ahead. What else?
Man. That was a long reach around, man. That was a long.
That was a very.
Yeah, Brian's going to be mad at you now.
Oh well, hey.
What else?
Flair is what I bring. Go for it.
Listen, I picked a single that was covered by two people. First was in 1985, and this is a song that it was released in Louisiana and Texas. and it became his first true regional hit. I'm talking about Rockin' Sydney and the song My Toot Toot. I don't know if you guys ever heard it.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a listen, because the same year, and I think this is when John Fogerty come out with Centerfield, that album, and Old Man Down the Road, he also covered My Toot Toot. And it's a great song. If you guys never heard it, give it a listen. It's really, it's a fun song, and I think you guys would appreciate it. That's my pick. That's it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Directly,
Play that after.
Eric, we're going to the Great White North. Direct from Alberta, Winnipeg, Edmonton, Ontario, Montreal. It is Aaron. Because Canada can't say, no, seriously, ask him where he's from. No one in Canada can say one place. Where are you from? Oh, I'm from Edmonton, Winnipeg. I'm from Calgary, Edmonton.
Calgary, Alberta. I do it like
See?
like city, like state. City, like state.
See?
Same.
Yeah, but we wouldn't say I'm from Boston, Mass. Well, yeah, you might. No, I just
You
say
know what?
Boston.
You should know where Calgary is.
Well, we can say Boston, Mass. Oh, yeah.
Brett Martin made sure of that.
Just follow the smoke. You'll find him.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because he's
That's what we're
working
rolling
hard.
today.
Right, Road Dog?
Yes, he's road dogging up there.
Oh, Road Dog, yes. Yeah.
There we go. Everybody said
So, an album I think every DJ should have in their arsenal, and I'm going to go Canadian on you, of course.
Honeymoon Suite.
But I'm going to go obvious Canadian. I'm not going to go deep dive into some stuff I should. But
Tragically hip.
I'm going to stay real obvious with Bryan Adams, greatest
I
hit.
was going to say it. Yeah.
Nice.
So, I mean,
Choice.
when
Yeah.
you're doing
There you go.
most of my shows are weddings. I do a fair amount of festivals, and I can use it at both.
Mhm.
I can hit Summer of '69, Packer,
Sure.
Florida wedding. A last second slow song comes in. You're going to go to heaven. I mean, you can hit so many of Bryan Adams tunes. and
Everything
you
I
guys-
do it for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Straight from
Everywhere
the
I go, the
heart.
kids want to rock. I mean, Bryan Adams, his music selection cuts like a knife. Anthem song.
Yeah. Run
They
to
can
is
sing it
great.
at the end of the night on their way out. It's
Run to You.
Bryan Adams. You need to have his greatest hits album in your arsenal. And every DJ should have that.
No, that's a great one.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
Thank
Canada,
you very much, Aaron.
go hit me.
Nice choice.
Right next to Aaron, we've got our boy who loves his crabs. That's right. It's Bill from Maryland, because crabs are king.
crabs and
Crabs.
tomahawks. Yes.
And there. Yes, tomahawks.
So I'm going to kind of go in a very different direction, mainly because he just passed, and but at the same time, it is a great tool to have for weddings, and that is Tony Bennett duets. But
Which
there's-
one? All of
there's
them? or-
actually all three. There's duets in American Classic. That was the original. That's got some great, other artists with him, like Sting, Katie Lang, Billy Joel, George Michael's in that, Elton John's in it, Stevie Wonder. I mean, it's a very awesome list.
Let's put the slideshow back up that we were discussing earlier. This was the Air Force Academy instructing students.
I'm thinking maybe we could cut that audio out.
Mr. Mueller might be.
Kendall here, and when we got it,
Hey, buddy.
Buddy, you want to mute that?
Secretary Kendall said, "Yeah, we probably aren't going to tell students they can't."
I think we just hacked into the White House or something.
Yeah, we did.
CIA stuff you got going on there.
I get my shot at stardom, and the
knock
kids
on
just
all
think
our
I'm a
doors.
substitute.
Yeah.
Wow.
The second duets is the one where Lady Gaga's in it, and it's
Right.
Really
it's
good.
got a lot of really strong female artists in there with him as well. That, to me, though, one of the cool stories about that is I really believe that when Tony Bennett started working with Lady Gaga, that's when she realized she could just be her. She didn't have to be the show.
100%.
And I think he did a lot for her in that regard. And then the last one is Viva Duets. That was the third one, came out in 2012. And that's one where he sings duets with a bunch of Latin American artists. Christina Aguilera, Gloria Estefan.
Shakira's on that, isn't she?
I
Or
don't
no?
recall. Cheyenne, I know, is, and also Mark Anthony. But and they're English Spanish duets, so there's some kind of cool factor there as well.
Right.
But to me, all three, you could sprinkle them into your dinner list or cocktail list at a wedding. You could just play the whole daggone CD because it's still him with all these other artists. And people aren't going to sit there and go, oh my gosh, another 70-minute song. So,
well, it changes. I remember when Frank Sinatra did duets. I remember when Rod Stewart did his Great American Songbook. I remember when Barry Manilow did it. And it certainly gave me more material to switch things up a little bit.
Yep.
And maybe not play the standard version of something that might be too slow, but also to incorporate another artist's voice that the audience who's younger might hear. And by the way, for those of you that don't know, Lady Gaga does a Vegas residency. She does it half and half, meaning half of it is Lady Gaga doing her stuff on a big stage going crazy. She also does a very small jazz lounge. So I think you're right about that observation, Bill, that Tony Bennett really gave her the opportunity to come in and say, you know what, I'm good at these songs. I enjoy these songs. And she does better at her small jazz residency sometimes than her bigger, Vegas showstopper residency. So I think you're right. It really has helped her career as well as opened that up to a lot of people that love music. So I think it's a great pick, and it's great, especially for DJs.
Yeah.
Now I would be remiss if I didn't bust your chops about using your phone. So now we're going to go to the Apple sponsor, Matt from down on the Georgia line.
Oh, Jay, how right you are! Even though I did have vinyl last time.
Road Dog.
Forget that.
Road Dog.
Yeah. So recently I got to watch a little Belgium EDM festival known as Tomorrowland. I just happened to catch it as it was airing live on YouTube, which over here it was a good companion to the workday, and solid lineup all the way through. And this was honestly my first time seeing live performances by the one and only Tiesto.
Yep.
And, I just been interested in learning more about EDM, house, electronic, all of that, all encompassing stuff there. And I just see this regular looking guy come out on stage or through the balcony of a castle as they had it set up. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, well, the crowd's excited about him. And then the more I listen, the more I just got it. Like there's just these layers of charisma there. I'm not saying that it's the same as, but little remnants reminded me, especially the way he was dressed, of like a Freddie Mercury. Of it's like I'm kind of dressed simple. He did have a little sequins or whatever on his jacket, but just wasn't much flash and flair to him, and just still managed to wow the crowd. And I really enjoyed that. So been spending some time listening to him. And not only am I going to show you something on Apple Music, but it is an Apple exclusive playlist, Tiesto Essentials. But I'm sure if you have Spotify, YouTube Music, or any of them, there's a similar such album put together.
Is it really his trance and house stuff? Because he's known now for a lot of his new house stuff, but he started as a really huge trance artist.
Right. We got 28 songs. It's
got to be his
over an hour and a half. So it goes back a long way. It starts with Diplo and all of that. It's got his stuff with Post Malone and just
check out
working
stuff
up to
like
Adagio.
Stuff. Check out Adagio for strings by him. That's like late 90s. When he first got on my map, I first bought his I bought a CD single of his for Adagio on strings, and it's very trance. And I wasn't familiar with trance. I got into him and Richie Houghton and Armin van Buuren and Robert Miles and the whole Holland, Euro, Netherlands trance scene. So that's one side of Tiesto. And now you've got this newer collab side, which is really, really good. But he's been a headliner, like EDC headliner for years.
Yeah.
Like he delivers. He's the only DJ I know of, and I think the first. He played the Olympics opening ceremonies when they were in 2004, maybe. I think it was, or yeah, I think he played 2004. If you look up Tiesto Olympics, it'll show it. But he actually plays on the field. He DJed, which was groundbreaking at the time. I think he was doing vinyl. So, wow. I mean, it speaks to his career has been pretty amazing. Awesome. I'm going to go for something that I love, and I played one song over the weekend from this album, but it is a soundtrack to a movie that if you've never seen it, it's not Nicolas Cage's first movie, but it might be his first starring role movie. And it's a movie called Valley Girl. And it's the story of boy meets, from San Fernando Valley meets girl from Hollywood. And they kind of fall in love. But soundtrack wise, the track I played was Pat Travers, La 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 Love You, which doesn't sound like anything else by Pat Travers. It's got Love My Way by Psyched Furs. A great band. If you don't know the Sparks, check out the Sparks sometimes. It's a brother duo band.
Are you thinking of Blue Sparks from Hell? Or
no, I'm thinking of the Sparks.
The Sparks?
Sparks. Angst in My Pants.
They were a brother duo way back. Blue Sparks from Hell.
Yes, Sparks are another duo. It's the guy that's got super short hair and the pencil thin mustache.
Yeah.
And then his other
big song in like 80,
longer hair.
Like I Predict, I think was the song from 80 that kind of got him on MTV or whatever. It was real.
Yeah. The
Devo, quirky, jerky. Yeah.
Yeah. They became super influential on that, kind of underground level. But a band that nobody really talks about that I think was an over kind of cited band is a band called the Plimsouls. And they sound very dated to the period, but they sound amazing. Like Million Miles Away was their big hit, but they have 2 tracks on it. The other one is Oldest Story in the World. I Melt With You by Modern English is on it. It's just The Eyes of a Stranger by the Payolas. Lot of stuff going on the album. It's very new wavy. It's very period piece, but I think the movie came out in 83, 84. So you say, well, that was 40 years ago. Well, yeah, now you've got a lot of these 30 and 40 year, high school reunions hitting where this is that generation. So it's not bad to have something a little new wave in your back pocket. A lot of great suggestions, a lot of great choices, a lot of great music. Now, because I will be around next week, and just to show you the date versus release, this show is being done on July 24th. I know it won't come out on the 24th, but coming up in 2 weeks, I will be in beautiful Atlantic City, New Jersey for the, if you can believe it, the 18th straight year that I'll be attending a show. This year it's called DJ X. It used to be called DJ Expo. But it's still really the same show. It takes place at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, formerly the Trump Taj Mahal. And it's a DJ show that is very well attended. And I think of the guests in the room tonight, at least 3 of us, no, I take that back. 4 of us will be attending the show, I believe. 3 or 4. So for the topic tonight, what I wanted to talk about was I'm working. So I'm doing this because I work for this little company right there. So they bring me out to do the show. So I have obligations. I have a job. I have to be places and this and that. I don't get to go to shows like you guys do as a kind of shown up to see and learn. So I'm curious from each of you if we could get a couple minutes of what going to DJ shows means to you. And what are you most excited about when you're planning on going to a show? So we're going to go in reverse now. We're going to go back to where we kind of just ended. Matt, are you going to DJX?
So I am not going to DJX, and thus far have not been to a a DJ show.
I'm sorry, Matt. My producer is saying the worst start ever. This is why you're not first lead. Hold on. Anyway, Izzy Itzquist, my agent, is calling and telling me to fall faint. Pretend you're fainting. Get off this sinking ship. Oh, never mind. Izzy's crazy. Okay, well, Matt, have you ever been to a show?
No,
not DJ related. No, I have not. So this is something that's a goal of mine. This is something that's a goal of mine. You're telling me, buddy, or in this case, Jay.
Well, let's do this then, Matt. You've never been to a show. You're not going to a show. What would you think? What would you want to see at a show? Give me like 2 minutes of what you would want to see at a DJ show if you attended one.
Okay. Yeah. Obviously I would like to walk around, see the exhibit, see what's out there, sort of mingle with the different vendors and everything. But also I would like to connect with, my brethren, with others in the industry, those that I know, those I don't know, and just enjoy that time and that fellowship and that togetherness of you're with like-minded people in regards to DJing. So just like I think you mentioned a lot of times the network group you're in, Jay, and I know that's various entrepreneurs and business owners and things like that, what you're in, but that's your common link there. Right. It's not necessarily the DJ thing, but to actually be able to talk to DJs about DJing. I mean, we're fortunate on here to do that all the time, but not a lot of us get that every day. Before we tell somebody we have a bad day, we have to really explain to them why, or why something's good or bad or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Thank John Young.
So yeah.
Yeah. Thank John Young for giving us this platform.
Sure.
Because before this came along, just like you say, you had to try to swallow it versus trying to talk to like-minded. And that was in the 90s, my first show. And you literally said everything I thought. I wanted to go hang out with people like me. I wanted to learn from people like me. I wanted to be around people that did what I did and felt the way I do and get to see gear. So, I think you'll find, and I think you'll hear this resonate through the room in a second, shows become very you get out what you put in sort of thing. Let me jump up to Bill. Bill has been to quite a few expos. Bill is attending this year. So, Bill, same sort of question. What are you looking forward to? And what's your kind of take on going to a show? You got anything you could tell people like Matt who've never been to one, who are considering going?
This year, truly what I'm looking forward to most is probably more of just the camaraderie, the networking, the hanging out, the catching up with people, the vacation, and of course, walking the show floor. But my biggest focus on Monday is always seminars. It's why I go to DJ Expo for the full week. I want to sit, even, if it's a seminar that I'm kind of only halfway invested in mentally, it's still being there. And, I start at 10 and I end up with yours at the end of the day on Monday. And, maybe escape for lunch if there's something that has absolutely zero relevance for me. But hopefully never go out of the room to take a phone call again. But
no. And we will tell that story before the show ends. So
yes,
and not to make fun of you, but it's a lesson learned.
Well, and this is
badly.
It is a lesson learned, but it's also a lesson I've learned more than once in some ways. When you go to the shows in the beginning, if you're a younger DJ, you don't value the time that you're there nearly as much as a DJ that's been there a bunch of times. I've had so many people say, "Oh, I've been there, I've done it. It's the same every year," and first of all, it's never the same every year, even when it sort of is, because, there's still always new product. There's still always new people. There's still someone new you can meet. In my market, we're a pretty, close group of, DJs in this area. We've had a couple different local associations. I still every year meet someone new from my market. I met Freddie, who you all know, 6 years ago, the first year we were back at the convention center, or the year before that, actually, at the Taj. And then the first year we were back at the convention center, we became roommates. But I mean, and he has been a DJ that I've had DJ for me, other times since meeting him there. But I end up meeting somebody from all the way across the world too, sometimes at DJ Expos. So you just never know.
Right.
But there's
a lot of opportunity.
There's value people don't find in it. It's just what, like you said, it's what you want to find and take out of it yourself. So it's something new to me.
Just like the chill room. The whole point of the chill room was we always found at the show in February at Mobile Beat, which is now Max, the Mobile Entertainment Expo.
Mm.
Sometimes the things you learn that are the best, they're done in the hallway, they're done at the bar that night, they're done between seminars, because you hear someone say, oh, when I introduce the wedding party, I do this. And it just resonates with you in such a way that you're like, I got to do that. Why am I not trying that? Why have I not done that? And even if it's just little, it's what you get out of it. And as long as you leave better than you came in, that's the thing. Aaron, I don't think you have attended. Are you attending this year? You're not attending this year.
I just refunded my tickets 2 days ago.
Oh, that's because you have a gig coming up. That's right.
I can't. Yeah. I'm hosting a music festival that weekend, and the amount of time it takes for me to get back, risking being late
conflict
on an event that I'm signed on for. It's just, so
understand.
I'm definitely going to try to make room for Vegas though. Me missing Expo in Atlantic City, I'm really crushed, and I want the entire world to know it. I had bought tickets. I had them ready to go since January. They were bought, but trying to catch 2 planes, 2 trains and make it work in through Toronto, and Toronto's the worst for layovers. As it would stand, I would have to have a driver waiting for me at the airport to get me to the event stage where it's mic in hand and I'm on. It's too close.
Yeah.
I just can't.
What is it about the shows that you go back for?
I got so much out of Expo last year. And I mean, not just the camaraderie. I'm going to go into like the seminars. Mike Marquez put on a great seminar last year that I got a ton of value out of, a ton. And, some of the experiences that the older DJs and more experienced guys, I've been around over 25 years, and I learned so much from those seminars and got a little bit level set from him, because he came back, he says, what have you done? Where have you been? What have your, he's not talking to me directly, but to the room. And he's trying to show you where you are as a DJ. And for me, moving forward, my career is still going up. Like, I'm still doing things I didn't think I could do before. And I learned some little tricks from those guys to get me just from weddings on to more festival stages, to doing bigger corporate stuff, and to like who I should be advertising to, and the value I got out of that show. Yeah, I'm flying across the country to get there into another country, but it was worth it. It has absolutely paid off in spades. The seminars were fantastic. I love I'm such a gear nerd. I love the product floor. So for me, walking around seeing all the gear was awesome. The AI light show that's coming, that thing is incredible. And then just hanging with the YouTube people and the people in this room. You guys are my friends for life. I mean, finding you was important because I felt like a solo op. I felt almost alone because, like, I think Matt before was saying, you try to relate to somebody. It's better to relate to people who do this for a living.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because other people don't get it. And I said this in the chill room, I don't know how many times last year before. I wish I'd found you guys 5 years ago, because it's like finding people who get it.
Right. Well, we have problems and issues and situations that the average, normal, everyday person looks at and goes, what's the big deal? But considering that more people are fearful of public speaking than flying, I would say it's probably an issue, because we're expected on a weekly basis to stand up in front of a room full of people that we don't know and somehow command the room in such a way that two people's investment in us pays off, that they have the greatest day they could have.
Right.
I mean, I know people that go to work on a weekly basis, and the most stressful thing they have is picking out which coffee creamer to put in their coffee because their job doesn't involve anything outside of what it is on a desk. And it's great to have people like you and other people in the room that we can bounce that off. And, you know, every time I do a show, I learn something. I learn something from every seminar I do. I've done hundreds of seminars, and I still learn from the audience because someone will ask a question or make a comment. You know, Eric, have you been to any DJ shows in your career?
Well, let me just to answer your question, no. And, and I've been around a long time, like you guys. I started when I was 16. I'm 20 now. You know,
well, prison will keep you out of DJ shows. Those of you that don't know, most state incarceration situations do not allow for any sort of a DJ show.
Leave my parole officer out of this. He ain't watching. Okay. But anyway, he, as far as the expos, yeah, I would love to go. The only two problems I have is I got an
vacation bracelet on the ankle.
No, I got an addictive personality. And like you guys, I love gear. And my motto is, if it ain't broke, you don't need it.
If it ain't broke, buy more. Yeah.
Right. So, look, the way I look at things, and maybe you guys will disagree, my clients are not going to know whether I'm using the latest Pioneer board or the oldest Newmark board.
Okay, thanks, Eric. Appreciate what you had to say. So now...
Oh, shut up. Let me finish. All I'm trying to say is, if I'm getting the job done with what I have, I don't need to upgrade at this point. That's what I'm trying to say. Yes,
right, but knowing what's available to you, I think, is a benefit, wouldn't you say?
Well, absolutely. But
we were talking gear last night about a piece that has 4 microphones. Remember?
Yeah, and I agree with that. And that is something that I do need.
And I saw that at DJX 2 years ago.
And we're not going to mention the company and whatever, but you did tell me which one has it.
Yeah.
Right? And yes, I am looking into.
I'm honest.
Right. But I am looking into that, which I think I mentioned to you before you brought it up, that model. And you said, yes, that's the correct one. But anyway, yes, I would love to go to one of these. I was actually planning on going to AC this year. Something came up, like always, you know, and it's always a family thing around here. And I'm not blaming the family, but they come first. But
sure, as they always should.
I will meet you in Salem this year. That's definite.
Yeah, you'll see me in October.
Right.
Well, and that'll be like a show. I think anytime more than 2 DJs get together, it's sort of like a show.
Yep.
Because again, that's what, you know, I know everyone here realizes what we have. And again, I want to thank John Young for this. This is like a show, but this is like the bar after the show every day.
Yeah,
exactly. And the amount of things that have changed my career for the better, and listen to guys talk and you go, that sounds like me. I mean, this is that opportunity. When you do it in this room, you know what you have in front of you. When you do it at a show, you've got 4,000 new faces and names, and someone's going to do or say something and go, whoa, that's exactly what excuse me. I heard you talking about karaoke and this, and I do that. Oh, I did this. And it's like the light bulbs start popping over your head all the time, you know? And that's, you know, like I said, I will meet you in October and we'll have our talk. It'll sound like this. It'll sound like a show. Yeah. But if you can make a show, I think it makes you a better DJ, only because it gives you opportunities that you can't get on the daily basis with the local guys that you're with, because it just introduces new things. But you are not going to the show, I believe, but have you been to shows?
I answered that already. I have not been to any expos or...
No. I'm sorry, Eric. I not to cut you off. Yeah. I was moving along. I went over to Buddy real quick, who's...
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go.
Listening to some submarine conspiracy video on YouTube. He's on mute. He doesn't... Oh, he is. He does hear me. Okay.
I hear you. I hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Still trying to hunt because Brian, who's unfortunately not here, had that QR code. Been trying to get that QR code to.
Oh, you're still working on that? That's over now.
I'm still trying to get that. So I'm like looking at videos and it's like things come up. It's like, so it's all the fun stuff. But I will tell. Unfortunately, I will not be at X just because of my schedule. But the thing is that Marquis, who is here, I got a chance to go to a few years ago. I went to Marquis. Kind of was one of the first showings of Marquis, and it is worth any time to go to any kind of show. If a DJ is on the fence, go spend the money. It's the friendship you get to build. It's the relationships you get to build. It's looking at new gear. And I'm a gear hound, so I'm always looking at new speakers, new whatever. What is the new technology coming out? What is the newest thing from Pioneer to RCF to EV to whomever it is? I want to see this stuff. And these shows is where they show their new toys. And that's where you get to know, okay, hey, is this new dance light great to have? Or is this thing great to have? But again, you need to educate yourself. And if you want to get a leg up on competition, it helps because you're ahead of the curve versus behind the curve. You're not watching someone doing a video on YouTube or on Facebook or TikTok or whatever saying, hey, this is the greatest, best thing to have since sliced bread. You already know about it. You're like, it doesn't work for my business. But you can make that decision, your informed decision afterwards. But I would definitely say anyone to go to any kind of DJ Expo, especially the cool ones like, out east at Jersey in a couple weeks, or if it's out in, California or even here for Marquee, those bigger shows are great to go to. Vegas has shows, there's all these shows are there. If you could travel to it, great. If you can't travel to because of your schedule, again, look for one that's not too far away, but try to build something to go to one of these shows.
Right. Yeah. I think it really is a benefit. John, you are going to be at Expo this year.
I will indeed.
You have been at a few of them, and you and I have we first met for the first time in 2020 at a show at the MEX.
Yeah, South Point Vegas.
Photo Booth Expo.
Yes.
And then afterwards, it went into becoming MEX in 2022. They didn't have a show in 21. And then this year they were MEX, and right now they're going to be MEX again. But, was that one of your first shows when I met you, or had you already gone to shows? And
no, the Las Vegas show in 2020 was my first. That was the first to actually go. I mean, I had been watching the YouTube channel for DJNTV for a while. Yeah. I said, this is a place where I can, my calendar is clear. I have the time off. I got the money aside. I should go do this. I will be kicking myself the week after this is done if I don't go do this, which is the way that DJs should be thinking about this. I went to a lot of the seminars because, my thinking going in is like, you don't know what you don't know until you hear someone say something that you've never heard before. Then it's a new idea. Then it's a new light bulb, a new little part of your brain turns on and goes, okay. It's the secret sauce, whether it's, fear of public speaking, there's a seminar for that. Whether it's, the proper direction of the flow of a wedding, like a coordinator would do, there's a seminar for that. How to be a bigger influencer on Instagram, Facebook, and the medias. There's a seminar for that. So there's takeaways. If you know what you want to focus on, there are specific things you can do during the course of the 3 days and listen to some very intelligent people who've been around the block. Answer your questions. You get the one-on-one interaction with them, plus everyone else that's there with you. These are your like-minded people. They're all trying to learn what you want to learn. So as you had mentioned in passing, Jay, just the hallway talk, that group outside was like, well, when I get back home, I'm going to do this. And like, you can walk up to anybody at one of these seminars. You DJ? Yeah. Where do you play? Oh, I'm in San Antonio. What do you spend? Oh, and now you have a conversation. Here's your card. Here's my card. Yeah, we'll keep in touch. We'll talk on Facebook. Friend me. And it builds the network, and it just gives you more opportunities to be a better you. And Vegas was great. It was
like you were. I think that's the best example. You went in with an open mind about, I don't know what I don't know. And I see a lot of guys make the mistake of showing up like it's an excuse to drink and party Right. And I'm like, and I'll say to guys all the time, have you been to any seminars you liked? Like, what stood out? Because I'm in the booth. So I can't attend seminars with the same regularity that attendees can. And I get this, yeah, we didn't go to any. I got up around noon, had some cocktails, went down the boardwalk. I'm like, why are you here then?
Yeah.
Is this
kind of
an excuse to hang out?
Well, that's it.
Like,
Camaraderie.
you go to AC without buying a ticket to this thing, right?
Yeah, camaraderie is a big part of it, but you really have to go for some of the intellectual stuff too. You can't come away.
Yeah.
You got to have something on the takeaway to say,
learn something.
It was worth it. Even if it's like you say, get together with us and we're going to be there in 2 weeks time. You see us, reach out, walk up, say hello, introduce yourself. You got a question about lighting? Hey, I know a guy. You got a question about controllers? I got a guy, right? And between us, we make up all the parts to the whole, like we do in this room. With a lot of great ideas have come through here, and changes of practices and rethinking of some old habits. But you get to do that in real time with people. And this year is going to be the biggest out of the last 3, for sure, because we were in lockdown, building back, kind of back, not back. This year, it's like, all right, this is full force. This is going to be a huge event with a great big turnout and lots of people and lots of opportunity to better yourself. So I'd say that's what I'm excited about, is being a part of that.
And you're never too old to learn.
And I would venture a guess that on the show floor, we'll probably see the most new introduction product that we've seen since 2019.
Yeah, that's a fair statement too.
From every vendor.
Well, it's become a show that I can tell you from a manufacturing standpoint, and I say this to people all the time, it's sort of like Apple. Like, I'm thinking of getting an Apple Watch. Okay, well, when? Well, right now. Okay, it's July. They've consistently launched a new one in September for the last 7 years.
Yeah.
Well, DJ shows get like that too. And DJ Expo is the second biggest launch to NAMM. NAMM is for buyers every January. It was April this year, but it's going to be January of 2024. And it's where manufacturers bring their newest and greatest to show everyone what they're going to need to sell and what people want to buy. Well, DJ Expo, we've launched huge pieces at DJ Expo. We had one year where we launched the S9, and we had a line including Scribble and other well-known DJs in line to try it. And that's not the first or the last time that we've done that. So, I think you're right, Bill. I think you're going to see a lot of manufacturers this year that are going to show up and really bring new stuff, launch new items, and the first time anyone will get to touch them will be now, because between August and January for NAMM, there aren't a lot of opportunities anymore. There aren't the Las Vegas DJ shows. There's Wedding MBA in November, but I don't know if any of the manufacturers are really supporting that the way that they are other shows. So I'm with you on that. Now, I purposely saved one of the best for last here, because the soothsayer himself, the king of DMX, the established man himself, the official Dark Star, as he is known on Twitch now, Howie, are you going this year? And you've been many years. So if you're going, yes or no, and what have you gotten out of it? Because you're coming from a whole different angle. You've perfected the art of DJing. You've got a history that Chris Cox, the Grammy-nominated, famous Chris Cox, is a fan of Howie Darkstar. And Howie Darkstar's name, God is my witness, has been brought up to me in private conversations with Chris Cox. So Howie's the real deal. Howie, talk to me. Well, but I'm out, so honestly, make it fast. Don't linger.
I was not going to go this year, but I'm having second thoughts about at least coming down for a day or two.
That would be awesome.
If the stars align, I'd like to get down there and be part of the DJ chill event, Disc Jockey News TV chill event. And this year it will be at the Irish Pub because, Beret closed, unfortunately. And
that'll be Tuesday night from 8 to
whenever.
8 to whenever. Yeah,
that's open to all attendees of the DJX, right? So if this show gets on before DJX, I want people to know
it's open to the public.
Yeah.
Because the bar, they say open 24 hours. That's their claim to fame. And now that there's no COVID restrictions, pretty much, I think they will make it, shut down. It's been my past experience. I've been doing that for 10 years. And now John has stepped up and taken the mantle on that. And typically what they'll do is if it starts to peter out around 11 or a little after, they will close the barn doors and that's it. Then if anybody wants to hang out, they go inside and hang out at the bar. But I can tell you from my experience, it's just the joy of seeing, fellow DJs and kindred spirits, so to speak, because I'm a very good judge of people, and I can tell who's a bullshitter and who isn't, right away. And, these people here in this room, they're the real deal, and that's who I like to surround myself with. You see a lot of memes all over, don't hang around with toxic people, this, and that, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, well, I don't have time for that because I have people like all of you in my life. So, if the stars align, I could go down for a day or two.
Good.
And
that'd be awesome.
But I highly recommend it. If you have a specific need, there will be seminars on just about any topic you can think of. I particularly enjoy your seminars, Jay, because, they're funny and we get to rib you a little bit, and they know it's all in good fun. They're like, they look around, some of the people don't know, it's like, they must know each other,
Yeah.
It's like, they must.
Well, and we've already announced we're doing a Monday. I'm doing a Monday night. And we've done Mondays for 6 or 7 years now at 5:00. And we've said, I believe in the announcement, actually keep talking while I look up the announcement because I don't want to say something that I'm going to end up getting fired for. Just dawned on me. Might want to actually check the
free controllers for all that attend.
Anybody that's maybe on the fence, or this may come out after it's all over, who knows. But the trade shows are definitely worth it for the people that you meet. I mean, I met my road dog, Boston John.
Oh my God.
Damn it.
And that was
you're torturing Jay with this empty cup.
It was right when COVID started, and I was walking around with my iPad, and everybody's seen this before, and that's how I do my lights. And I just was we had the whole table that had all the video switchers and the cameras and the soundboard and everything was covered up with a black tarp for the night to make sure, because I was doing lights for the nighttime party. And John was like, I know somebody's doing these lights. It's like right to the beat of the music. And he came up to me and he goes, are you doing lights? And I said, yeah. He goes, how you doing that? And I said, with this. And he was like, Then we hit it off. We started talking, and he wandered off. And, the next thing I know, I see him talking to you, Jay. And I came up and you said, I want you to meet my new best friend. I'll die for this guy. He's from Boston. I said,
all it takes.
Yes, we've met.
They didn't know what he was in for. And his life's never been the same.
It was it was on from there, and then we finally roped him into coming on the show with his vast knowledge and
and that was going on 3.5 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, and we've sustained through COVID.
Yes, we did.
We went through a pandemic where we were really target one. Nothing can happen that involves dancing, DJs,
large
clubs,
groups of people,
weddings, large groups of people. Everything that we do for a living got taken away from us.
Salem witch trials almost.
You know, I had to DJ in the driveway. We found Twitch. We had the chill room.
The Twitch.
I mean, that's the beauty of this community.
Yep.
Is that that's where that's based on a show.
Yeah. A solo before I met you guys here.
Yeah.
And that's a testament to how great you all are. And I'm very fortunate to have met you guys.
I've felt that way at times, Aaron, because, you know, it's a small town and it's like, it's just time passages, basically. You know, a lot of my peers are gone. And either they've retired, but most of them died. So it's locally, I don't have a lot of close friends. And, but I have a vast network of DJs that I consider very close friends, and I'm honored to be here. And so we're at the hour, Jay. If you want to close it out,
give me 60 seconds. Just 3 things I got to bring up. One, what Bill mentioned earlier. Every seminar I do, and I'm looking at the write up right now. I'm doing the seminar Monday night at 5, August 7th. And it says we'll be talking about our brand, newest brand's latest products. So that sounds like new. Could be. But you can win if you're in the room. You have to stay. Sadly, a few years ago, I call out for a $1,500 controller. And I say Bill's name, and Bill doesn't answer, and he doesn't answer. And there's like 300 people in the room, and they're now screaming, call another name. I'm like, going once, going twice, call another name. The guy's there, he wins. Like 5 minutes later, Bill walks in, and I'm like, yeah, sorry, dude. Seriously, I won? I'm like, yeah, sorry. The other thing is this, back in 2008, I sat in a balcony with Pulse, who's the guy that I've now stayed with every year for every show since 2005.
18 years.
And Brian Red, you know him better as my co-host.
Oh, I grew with them again.
And the 3 of us are sitting there, and this girl walks out on stage. This was when Pioneer DJ and Promo Only did a party at the House of Blues at Showboat every Tuesday. That was the big thing everyone went for. And this is the 3rd act on the bill. And this woman walks out, and she's got 2 dancers, and she sings this song, Poker Face. And we're like, oh, that's okay. And then she sings Just Dance. And we're like, yeah, this is better. And then she does like Disco Stick with this light up, goofy looking thing. This is August 2008.
That's Stephanie.
And then like 5 or 6 acts later, Akon comes out and goes, hey, my girl's sound was bad. I want her to perform again. So she does. She does the same 3 tracks. And the sound was about the same. And, we've had some adult sodas and whatever. And as you said, that was Lady Gaga. That was a free benefit of the show.
Yeah.
This year just announced the party that Pioneer DJ is sponsoring on Wednesday night. And again, if you attend the show, this is free for you. The After Dark party will be Mel Starr, Scribble, Grandmaster Flash, the Sugar Hill Gang, Grand Wizard Theodore,
you're killing
Melly Mel, and Scorpio, Jazzy J, who is African Bambaata's DJ, who I'm actually friends with, and he is awesome, and Scram Jones.
Excellent.
That's our party we're doing at the Hard Rock on Wednesday night. And that is free if you attend the show. So that's another big benefit. I'll close by saying my first show I ever attended as a DJ was 1997 in Vegas, the Mobile Beat Show. And just like Matt and other people have said, I wanted to be around like-minded individuals and learn. And I left that show a better DJ. And I can honestly say I do probably 6 shows a year with Pioneer DJ. So, I've attended a lot of shows, well over 100. And every show I've ever done, I leave there as a better DJ. So if you are on the fence, try to go. Please.
100%. Go.
Yep.
Do it.
Lifetime sneezing. These things happen. Other than that, I want to thank everyone for watching. Please, when this show goes on to YouTube or whatever format you use, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, the podcast setups, if you want to make a comment, there is a spot to do it. Please click on the links and check out our various sponsors. It's not only DJ Event Planner, but we have a ton of other sponsors that are great to us. We use their products or they wouldn't be sponsors of the show.
Right.
Thank you, Brian, for giving me the helm on this one because you just didn't care enough. And everyone else for hanging out on the show. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Stay well.